Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me today and welcome to those who are new. Today I'm doing another December daily video. This is going to be for my 2020 album and this is going to be day 13. So as you recall, the last video that I put up was day 12 and this time I'm working on day 13. So my day 13 and my idea for this is to do an around here, kind of what's going on around here, because I believe it was the 16th that we ended up leaving town, 16th or 17th that we ended up traveling home to Utah. So I thought it would be great to kind of do an around here of what's going on around our home and stuff like that. So I've got some photos that I took. I also have some journaling that I did. We'll see how much I actually get in. I did do more photos than I wanted to. I know specifically these photos of me, I was thinking actually that I wouldn't use them for the around here because I wanted to do different journaling. When I started mapping everything out, I didn't have another time that, like, I didn't have a place to put it in my album to include it before the 16th. So anyway, maybe I'll end up putting it on this day. I'm just not 100% sure. So I printed them out just in case. All right, you guys, so I'm actually going to start speeding up the footage. And in fact, I think I'm going to cut out most of me cutting out the photos just because it's laborious and you don't need to see me go through everything. I'm cutting them at 2 inches, which I do this every year, I feel like, because I use this pocket every year. And it turns out that the pockets are a little bit smaller than 2 inches. So if you're going to use these pockets, definitely cut them smaller. I cut mine to about 15, so 7 and 15/16. So just cut them slightly smaller so they could fit in. But you'll see that I go through that process a little bit later, and I will cut through that process also just because it's long and you don't need to sit through it all. So right now I'm organizing everything and I'm putting down my photos where I want them to go. And then on the left side, I'm going to put down the photos for the back of it. So I'm trying to mirror how my photos are and how it's going to look on the back. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just looking through my photos and trying to determine which one would be good for the front and which one would be good for the back. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with the journaling. And the journaling's pretty specific, but I didn't know where my photos were going to go and what was going to be on the front, what was going to be on the back. And so some of my journaling might pertain to a photo that's on the back side, but the journaling's actually on the front side. It's not a big deal because there's actually a lot of journaling on here that isn't associated with any photo at all. So just kind of writing about what was going on during this time period. And the way I was able to write this journaling is because I do journal. And so I just went back and I looked at my journals and I saw the things that I was grateful for and I saw the things that I was writing about. And so I wrote a little bit about that. So some of those journaling pieces are about the photos and some of them are not. All right, so I'm just going through I did just go through and cut up my photos one more time, cut off the edge a little bit just so it was able to fit right into the pocket. Again, I say, make sure you cut them a little bit smaller than 2 inches so you don't have to cut them twice. And now I'm sticking them together back to back and I'm putting them into the pocket. I actually thought it would be easier to do off the page protector because it was hard getting them in. Some of the top ones I felt like were really stuck together pretty well. So I had a hard time getting them in and I didn't want my organization to get messed up. So that's why I ended up putting the photos together and then off screen where they were going to fit into the pockets, and same with the journaling. So you can see I have photos back to back and then I have journaling back to back. And now I have 2 spots left. One of them is for the 13 and I'm trying to decide if I really want to do a white 13. I was thinking that I wanted to do a different color. And I end up doing that 13. That 13 that I'm holding right now, that's something that I made with my silhouette. I cut it out and I use the foil quill to do the foiling on it. I will have that video linked up. Well, I'll have it linked below, and I'll have it linked in at the end of this video if you're interested to see how I do that. I definitely enjoy the process of creating my own elements, and it's just nice now that there are tools out there like the silhouette, like the foil quill, that can really help us to make it so they almost looked store-bought. All right, so I mentioned that I have 2 more spots open, and that's what I'm doing right now. I decided, here's the thing, I did not go through my December daily products beforehand, and I should have. I should have looked at everything, because once I opened up that box and started going through everything, there was just a lot to go through. So I decided to leave this in the video because I thought maybe you would enjoy looking at all the products that I have right now that I've been using the last 3 or 4 years that I've kind of been collecting. I have gone through and really edited a lot of my products, but I have not done that from last year's product because I knew that I wasn't finished with 2020. And so I definitely have a lot of last year's products still. And I just have a lot of embellishments and pockets and cards and stickers and stuff that I needed to go through. So I decided that I would leave that on screen and show you kind of what I was looking through as I'm trying to fill up those 2 extra pockets. Now, I do run out of space on my SD card, and so I stopped recording, and I didn't realize because I just felt like I was in knee deep looking at all of these products that I had. So I just wanted you guys to know that this is going to cut off abruptly, but then I'm going to hop back on here and show you how I finished off the cards. I did kind of think about how I wanted to finish the cards, but then I ended up changing my mind a little bit, and you'll see that light green heart actually turns into a dark green heart. I didn't realize I had 2 packages of hearts. I don't know if they both came from 2020 or one of them came from 2019. But for whatever the reason is, I have 2 packages of them, and the one that I had ended up having a dark heart. So that's the one that I went with. And now you can see that I'm actually looking for something to go on the back of that pocket from day 12. So because it's adjacent to day 13 and you're going to see it when you flip over, I thought it would be really great to put something on the back side. So as I'm looking through my elements to see, what I could put in the pockets, I'm definitely taking into consideration what I could put on the back side of that pocket. And as you can see, I went from looking for elements to go in that pocket to just kind of being overwhelmed with all the stuff on my desk. But again, I thought that you guys would find it interesting to see some of the stuff that I still have in my stash. And so that's why I decided to leave it in. All right, so now that I've gone through all of my stuff, and like I said, you missed a little bit of that, I decided to see if I could do like a sticker bomb on this 2x2 transparency. And I was thinking about doing this originally, but I wasn't sure what it was going to look on the back side, because obviously you're going to turn over the page protector and then you were just going to see a bunch of white shapes on the back side of this transparency. But what I decided is I came across, I think it was from Paisley Press. She had some puffy stickers from one of the years. I can't remember what year it was from. And I was thinking about using this square love. In fact, if you look at the bottom of the page protector right now, you can kind of see it. There's a white Merry Happy, I think is what that says. And on the back side of this is a red love. You can see it right there. And so I thought, what if I did this sticker bomb and then I could just stick that square on the back of it, and hopefully it wouldn't be that noticeable. And I'm sorry that I'm off screen a little bit right here. But it turns out that it's actually not that noticeable because the back of the puffy is a little bit, it's not like stark white, and so it doesn't show up too bad. So as you'll see there, you can kind of see a little bit of white peeking through. And definitely when you've got, you know, stuff in your album showing through, you'll probably see it a little bit more. But I actually really loved the way that it looked and how it went together. And I just really loved this idea of doing a sticker bomb, especially because I feel like I've been doing sticker bombs a lot more lately. So I figured out what I've put into the pockets in my page protector. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is figure out what I want for the pocket, you know, adjacent to the 13, which actually doesn't have anything to do with day 13, but I definitely wanted to put something on the back side of it because it's so white and I just felt like it needed something. So I grabbed over this chipboard set that came from Crate Paper. I think this was from the Merry Days collection, and I've had it for a long time. And I thought one of those would actually work really well. And I think I even had my daughter come over and check it out. And I was like, what do you think? The Santa or the tree or the snow globe? And we both really liked the Santa. And I thought it would be fun to maybe do like a mess of gold thread behind the Santa. I thought that maybe that would add a little bit to it. So I'm just playing around with adding some of this gold thread. I think this is DMC thread that I got from Joann's a couple years ago to use with my in my December daily. I think it's always really good to have some gold and silver out there. So you can see that I just made kind of a mess of that, put it behind the Santa, which is really nice that it has the adhesive behind there, and then just stuck it right onto the pocket. So you guys, that's going to be it for day 13. It's really just about the photos and the story, you know, around here. I did think about maybe cutting out and around here and adding it, but I definitely haven't yet. But anyway, that's how it turned out. So thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate your support. And if you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up. I hope you guys are doing well if you are working towards finishing your December daily album. And I will see you guys next week for another video for my December daily.